Welcome. This is RiaTalk for real people, where we're always keeping it real about real life. And here's your host, Maria.
Hello. Hello. Welcome to Real Talk. We're going to get real today. We're going to get real about the way we feel. We're going to have some real talk for real people about emotions.
Okay.
And I just wanted to give you a little Mariah Carey on emotions. You got me feeling emotions deeper than I ever knew love. What? Girl, let's talk about emotions.
Okay then. So what we so let's do it.
Yes.
Emotions.
You know, men and sometimes women, what we got to do, girl, got to get better as females. You got to stop females, women, girls. We must stop drinking the Kool-Aid of men and the Kool-Aid of society. That's we couldn't vote for Hillary because of she may act like it's 1999 and drop the bomb. But we got Putin right now talking about the nuclear option.
Right.
Is he feeling some emotion?
Mm-hmm.
Or is that emotions? Did a female blow up Uvalde school? Did a female do that? And was he feeling emotions when he did it? Was he getting so emotional, baby? How many females you knew blew up a school? How many females you knew went to the Boston Marathon and New York Marathon with a bomb and killed and maimed women and children and men and boys too? I just get tired of the lies about emotions and applying it as a negative to women.
Right.
I want to say this.
Mm-hmm.
Humans. Let me say it again. I might like Bernie Sanders in my Bernie Sanders voice. Humans have emotions. You know why? Because that's the way God has made us. What did God say around Genesis, the first chapter? Let us make men after our own image and after our own likeness. God gave us emotion. You know why? Because God is emotional. That is part of what God is. It's just like us. There's no one thing that defines Maria.
Mm-hmm.
I'm multifaceted because I'm like my God. God is multifaceted to include emotions. I've always loved law. That's why I went to law school and graduated. I know you may have heard me say it many times. I'm going to say it again. I have a passion for law. I always have. And it's go. It's just like people that want to be the president. It's going to go with me all the days of my life. If you've ever been the president, ever wanted to be the president of these wonderful United States, it'll always be with you, want it, girl. Want it, girl. I'm always with you, girl. If you ever run, you know how you already got me. You already got me. Some things stick with you for life.
Right.
And that's a sidebar. I just want to throw a hint out there to one of my favorite sheroes. Girl, yes. Anywho, having to talk about emotion, I just get so irritated. She's so emotional. Humans are emotional. Men are violent most of the time with emotion. When we talk about domestic violence, you think he's doing that because he feels rational? Let me knock some of her teeth out. That may give her a better smile. Let me break her arm. Maybe she can grow 2 more arms. Let me kill her so somebody can work a miracle and bring her back alive. Bring her alive from the dead. Oh, he wasn't being emotional because he's a man. He's rational. Because that emotion is only reserved for women.
Right.
And that's what was getting my goat, as you like to say. Because I know emotions can be both positive and negative. Emotions can be good and bad. For example, if I say the word jealousy, when I say the jealousy, what do you think about? I want you to use only 2 words. 2 words. Take 1 or 2, good or bad. Jealousy, good or bad?
Bad.
See, that's how people say, but that big X, you're wrong. Jealousy is neither good nor bad. It can be good and it can be bad, as most things. And now they tell us, we do generalities to everything. There's an exception. That's almost true in this life. But with one thing when I hear about generalities and exceptions to the rule, there are some principles God has put out there. There are no exception to God's rule and to God's law. But for us humans, there are exceptions. There's some good and bad. And if you say like jealousy, it has to be put in context.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna jump in and jump right out of this because I'm not a Bible scholar. I study the Bible every day of my life. Let me say, every day of my life, I take time to read my Bible, to study. I take study time because God is important to me. It is my way of getting to know God. And what does the Lord require me? As he said in Micah 6:8, and as Jesus had said, take my yoke upon you and learn of me, for my yoke is easy and my burden is light. But I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about emotion. When I think about God, I get emotional because God is emotional God. And he said, I am the Lord thy God, and thou shalt not have any other God besides me. He's a jealous God. And I've come to the conclusion after living in this world over 50 years now, I've come to a conclusion of the matter of jealousy. I think you love somebody, there will be a little jealousy there. It has to be balanced. I understand this. I really care about you. And I don't want you to walk away from me. I don't want anyone else to have more of your time and attention, your resources than me, because I'm giving you all I got, and I want you to give me all you got. And it may portray itself as jealousy, and maybe it is jealousy. And I had one girl to say to me about my husband, we were very young in our marriage, that she was in love with him, and tell me all the different positive traits about my husband. I said, yes, yes, and yes. He's all these things. That is why he is my husband.
Mm-hmm.
And the father of my 2 children. Not you, girl. Check. Anywho, like I said, I'm going to tell you some things about different emotions. And also, we can run in a little bit on emotional intelligence. I do notice that women tend to be more in tune with their emotion. See, that's why men bomb up places, kill little children. Uvalde. We're never going to forget about Uvalde in our recent memory. What was that girl? Sandy Hook?
Right.
We know about these other schools that these horrific things that have happened to our children, defenseless little children, at the hand of men who were emotional, who were not in touch with their emotions, to put it in the proper perspective and deal with it. Because they want to say, oh, I'm rational. Is that rational to take an AR-15 into a school and kill children who have never done anything to you? Haven't even had a chance to live their lives? No. But you're not emotional. You're rational. Humans. A woman would show emotions. I'm gonna tell you about my experience with emotion here recently.
Okay.
You know, I've gone through a lot with the death of my mom and being almost her namesake and so much like her. See, I can't even say my mom's name without getting emotional.
Mm-hmm.
But I embrace it. It is what it is. I love my mom. Love you, Marie. Love you into eternity. I interviewed for a job. This is why I was thinking about this emotion too. You know, some things are culture too. One thing I love about being a Black person.
What you love about it?
I love you, Black people. I love me. Because we are okay with emotions.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have to shut it. Shut it down. Black people, we embrace it. We sing song about it. Did Mariah just tell you, I get so emotional, baby, every time I think of you.
Mm-hmm.
And we embrace it, and we make songs, we make things, we create things as a part of our emotions. And I love that about us. And our culture allows us to express that to each other, whether it's anger, whether it's being sad, very mournful. That's why I say, I got the blues for you, baby. Or you can say, you're giving me the blues. When my mama died, it gave me the blues.
I'm sorry. Every time you lean back, I lose the sound.
Yeah, I just wanted to say that the reason I believe Black people are in touch with their emotions because of our slave history. Mm-hmm. And we had to do something with that if we were able to live. We couldn't bomb everybody on the plantation and live. And that probably was not even a part of our mindset, you know?
Mm-hmm.
It happens wherein there was a slave revolt, but most of the time, most slaves didn't do that. They loved their masters for some reason. But anywho, we did learn something called spirituals, which gave us a release of our emotions. The blues gave us a different side that allowed us to do something with all the sufferings, the injustice that we were experiencing. And as humans, we get to experience some joy. I'm getting barely paid. Jim Crow. I did over 400 years of slavery in Jim Crow. When I'm gonna experience the emotion of joy? We had to create our own joy. We created the joy from our dance. You can feel it, like Maya Angelou said, in the movement of my hips, the sway of my shoulders, and the movement of my lips. Joy, 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 joy. We had to get our joy from somewhere, and we got it. That's how we survived slavery. That's how we survived Jim Crow. That's how we survived, like say, Black Lives Matters, walking while Black, breathing while Black, anything, going to the store and having your humanity, your integrity insulted.
Right.
Emotion. We don't go back and shoot up the place. We put it in perspective. I'm generalizing. I'm sure you got some crazy Black people, but generally speaking, we have endured these things in America, and we still endure them. That's why during COVID, that Black Lives Matter was so effective, because other people, they had a chance to pause, and they can feel our hurts. They can have some empathy, some compassion. These are emotions: compassion, empathy, and our plight. They say all lives matters. Yes, all lives matters. But when it comes to Black people, we were forgotten. Black Lives Matters also. Emotions. You hear me? You hear it in my voice? You hear my passion? Yes, yes, yes. I like that. I want to tell you another little story.
You didn't finish the story about your encounter with emotions. You said you applied for a job.
Oh, with the job. I thought I did. Then I want to tell you about my experience in Italy, which I loved on the island of Sardinia. Remind me to bring me back to Sardinia. But quickly, I'm going to say this. I didn't get the job, and I already had the bad day. So when she called me to tell me I didn't get the job, it struck me. I was surprised. I thought she was calling me because I was very much probably even overqualified for the position.
Mm-hmm.
And they were so nice, and I just felt I had the job. Everything was going great. So I just felt I had the position. So when she called me, I almost didn't take her call because I was taking my nephew to college, to his class. And she called me and she said, I just wanted you to know that you didn't get the position. And for some reason, it bothered me, maybe more than it should. But I think I couldn't keep my mask up because that's what we do. And that's what I normally would do. Even if it bothered me, I would keep my mask up. But she caught me at a time when I wasn't thinking enough to have that mask up.
Mm-hmm.
And so she saw my emotion of sadness. And because she's not of African descent, she misunderstood my sadness for something like she thought like I was going to go and kill myself or something.
No. Make sure, I don't want to interrupt you, but I don't want to get flagged on this. So come up with something when you say that, like delete yourself, because we'll get, when you allude to things like not being here on this earth by choice, by the actual name.
I was making the point of my sadness. I have never contemplated anything about leaving this earth by choice.
Right. I'm saying don't say that word because they'll flag it.
I have never thought of that, but she didn't know because she's not of my culture.
Right.
And clearly she's in her environment, she's not in tune to emotion. I try to bring myself together enough to respond, but and then after a few days, a couple of weeks went by, I reflected on it, and I said to myself, I said, Maria, don't beat yourself up about being human. Never do that. She saw you in a human moment. Nobody would be happy or even okay,
right,
with not getting a position that you know you qualified. I was surely, and from the interview, I thought it went not just good. I thought it went great.
Mm-hmm.
Told me a lot more about the position. He said I'm going overtime, but I have a few more things I want to ask and talk to you about. I just thought everything went great. But anyway, I stopped beating myself that whole day, and the next day I beat myself over, allowing my mask to slip. But I said, you know what? To err is human, to forgive is divine. I'm okay with being human. This is how God made me. Emotions are good. You know what my emotions do for me? They allow me to have compassion for other people.
Mm-hmm.
It allows me to have empathy. You know, they talk about emotional intelligence. You've heard that word. And it's the sensitivity. Emotional intelligence is measured. They've been able to measure, like they say, IQ. Well, there's an emotional IQ. That means you're being sensitive to other people's feelings, and you react to their feelings in a way that can bring them comfort. You have the intelligence enough not to ignore people who display even a positive. Say someone is displaying positive emotions. When I was in the, I think I was in high school in Georgia, and I was having a problem with math. So I had to stay after school. I didn't have to, but I chose. And I had I wish I knew, I can't even remember her name. I had a great teacher. She stayed after school. She seemed to have had a passion for math and a passion for helping students. So one day, I got what she was saying. I got so excited. She said, I think you got it. She said to me, I think you got it. I said, oh, yes, thank you. I can see it. It was so clear. So I gave her a hug. You would have thought I set that lady on fire. She was white and I was black. I just felt love for her. I felt appreciation. But she recoiled me as if I was something crazy or harmful to her, not because I was displaying emotion, but that I was a black person showing positive emotion to a white person. And that made me cry. And it's been over, 40 years ago, 35, some years ago. Just imagine a human being that you show positive. And I thought she cared, if not love. I was
a kid
interpreting her from the perspective of a child. Yes. And I was just grateful because I was really having problems with it. And the way she would stay after school and the way she would just keep at it with me until I got it, I was just full of joy and gratitude. But it hurt when she behaved like that. I was so shocked and so hurt. But I learned to govern myself accordingly. Now moving on, talking about emotions.
I wanted to hear one more story. You said you had one more.
This is what I'm getting ready to talk about.
Oh, okay.
On the island of Sardinia. You know, in Italy, of course, people speak Italian. I've lived on the island of Sardinia, and I've lived also on the mainland. But in Sardinia, they spoke a type of Italian called sardo. And when I first went out, my first week living in Sardinia, I went out into the community and I saw people engaging passionately. I didn't know if they were fussing or if they were enjoying themselves. Then I would hear them laugh. And I knew they were being passionate about maybe some political debate. I wasn't fluent at that time in Italian, especially not sardo. I said, oh my God, I got happy. I got excited. I said, these people act like my family. They're loving it. They're enjoying themselves. They're enjoying each other at dinner. I just wanted to ring the doorbell and say, hi. I don't know exactly what you're saying, but I'm liking it. That was the experience. They were showing so much emotion and love. And that was my whole, not my whole experience, but my general experience in Italy also were the Italians that lived on the island of Sardinia were very passionate people. And Italians in general in the country of Italy, they're very passionate too. And I love that about them. I always tell people, I'm part Black, part Mexican, part Italian, because those are other cultures that I have a strong affinity towards. And that's the experience to talk about emotions. They were not shamed or embarrassed or told to shut it. You're showing tears, you're showing love, you're showing joy, you're showing anger, you're showing jealousy. Shut it. Clearly, their parents didn't teach them to shut down their emotions. And it's so good. I always say about boys, I think A lot of these young men that go to these schools and kill innocent children, kill people, they don't know what to do with their negative emotions. Mm-hmm. Because they've been taught that emotions are bad, emotions are for girls, emotion definitely is not for people who are not people of color. If you are not a person of color, you dare show your emotions, because we don't do that. But we got these people, these young boys, and being a person of emotions and empathy and compassion, even for the killers, I say to myself, he was really in pain and suffering emotionally. And somehow somebody didn't get it. Someone didn't feel his emotion to get him help. Sometimes you could just say, hey, it seems like you need a hug. Let's talk about it. Give him a hug. Let's talk about it. Let it out. Tell me exactly what you're feeling. I'm okay with it. Emotions. It's not just a woman. It's not just a women. Emotions God gave us. Again, I'm going to close this with saying this. You can find it in Genesis, the 1st chapter. God said, let us make man into our own image and after our own likeness. And one of his likeness is emotions. I get so emotional, baby, and I like it.
Okay.
And I do.
Okay, that's it for RiaTalk, where we're always keeping it real. Please leave your comments below or on our Instagram account at RiaTalk, and make sure you like, follow, and subscribe to our YouTube channel, RiaTalk. We're growing, so you can also find this podcast on Spreaker, Spotify, and iHeartRadio podcast platforms. And we will see you next week.